Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to open this meeting now. So welcome to everyone to the annual general meeting of the British Occupational Hygiene Society, a Royal Chartered company and a charity. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us this afternoon, and thank you for voting by proxy ahead of today's meeting, especially since we have a special resolution. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we go any further. The meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be made available so that members can watch later if they want to do so. Can I ask please everyone to keep their microphones on mute throughout the meeting to avoid any noise disruption, and if you're having any issues at all with bandwidth, then turn your camera or your webcam off, and that usually helps. We will allow and invite questions throughout the AGM, but can I ask you please, if you've got any questions, to pop them into the chat box on Microsoft Teams, which is up in the speech bubble at the top of the screen there. And our Honorary Secretary, Helen Pearson, will monitor the chat box throughout the call, and Helen will put forward any questions at the appropriate part of the meeting. So without further ado, we shall move on to the election of the chair for this meeting. Article 8.3 of our bylaws states that the President shall preside as chairman at every general meeting. So nomination or election for the chair only comes into play if the President is not present. As I am present, I shall chair the meeting. Article 7.1 of the bylaws requires that the notice of the meeting be with members at least 14 days ahead of the meeting. The notice was circulated to all members on the 4th of April, which satisfies the terms of our bylaws. As you will be aware, we ask eligible members to vote electronically ahead of the AGM, and these votes will contribute to the meeting quorum. The quorum for the meeting, in accordance with Article 8.1 of our bylaws, is 3% of the membership of the Society at the time of the meeting who are entitled to attend and vote, i.e. excluding any affiliates or international partners. The quorum number is 40, and I'm pleased to say that we've received 288 proxy votes, so the meeting is quorate and I can proceed to business. I will now pass you on to our Honorary Secretary, Helen Pearson, for any apologies.
Thanks, Chris. We've just had the one apology from Rupert Bolfrey.
Thank you, Helen. So we now move on to the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. The minutes were circulated with the notice of the AGM and have already been checked and approved by the Board of Trustees. I can confirm that we haven't received any comments regarding the accuracy of the minutes. We asked members to vote for the approval of these minutes, and the results are, as you can see on the slide, 204 in favour, 2 against, 49 abstentions. Therefore, it's clear that this motion is carried. There are no matters arising from this, so we'll move on to the next agenda item, the results of our appointments process. We asked members to vote for the ratification of these appointments. I can confirm we received 248 votes for ratification. Therefore, it's clear that this motion is carried, and I'm very pleased to announce that following a successful nomination process, Parmjit Gahir has received nomination to be appointed as President-elect. 2023 also sees the appointment of Helen Pearson as our Honorary Secretary and Jason Hodgkiss as Honorary Treasurer for the Board. The Board welcomes 2 new ordinary board members in Mike Robertson and Joe McDonough. Samantha Collins has been welcomed back for a second term as FAM committee member and is joined by Darren Evans, who will be serving his first term on the FAM committee. All of these individuals were unopposed in their nominations, and therefore no ballot was required. As you know, BOHS has a robust election process for situations where we receive more nominations than there are positions available, and this year we exceeded the required number of nominations for the position of full committee member. As a result, we're pleased to be able to announce that after a successful election, Justina Seabag Montefiore will be serving a second term as a full committee member. I can confirm that we've received no comments regarding the accuracy of these appointments. I'd now like to take the opportunity to express our thanks to the board and faculty committee members who are leaving this year for their commitment and for the contribution they've made during their terms. So thank you very much to Amanda Parker, who served as Honorary Treasurer for the past 6 years. Thanks to Alison Margaret, who served as an Ordinary Board Member, President-elect, President and now immediate past Presidents. And also thank you to Colette Willoughby, who stood down from her position on the FAM Committee. Thank you, Colette, also for your contribution to BOHS. I'm now going to hand over to Amanda Parker, our Honorary Treasurer, to present the annual report for the year ending 31st of December 2022, incorporating the audited accounts to be received by the AGM. Amanda?
Thank you, Chris. The annual report was distributed online on the 17th of April 2023, and we'll now open the floor to any questions on this. Helen, do we have any questions?
No questions as yet, Amanda? No?
Okay, so we have no questions, thank you. So I'd just like to say that we're very proud of what we've been able to achieve as a society within 2022. We're financially building ourselves back up after the pandemic and further developing the society's activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. We can now move on to agenda item 5, Code of Ethics Complaints. Our Registrar for the Faculty of Occupational Hygiene, Sarah Leeson, is here to provide further details on this. Sarah?
Thank you, Chris. This will be very short because I'm pleased to say we did not receive any complaints during 2022.
Good to hear. Thank you very much, Sarah. So we now come on to the appointment of the auditors. As members, you are all asked to delegate to the chair the power to appoint an auditor on behalf of the Society for 2023-24. We ask members to confirm their approval of this proposal, and we received 246 confirmation votes. Therefore, it's clear that this motion is carried, and I can confirm that we have chosen Haynes Watts as our auditors for 2023-24. We now move on to the final item on our agenda, and that is the special resolution. In February of this year, following consideration of the profile of the Society's current name, the Board of Trustees commissioned Head Office to carry out a survey of our membership on their views as to whether the Society should consider a change of name. This was not the result of any active campaigning or any external impetus, but this was a response to feedback over many years from active members of the Society and from the Head Office team that there might be an appetite amongst our membership to consider renaming the Society. The member survey in February reported back that over 70% of those responding to the survey felt the Society should change its name. In response to that member survey, a special resolution has been put out to the Society with a proposal for a new name for the members' consideration. After the resolution was proposed, the board received further input from 2 members. One member in particular raised several points asking questions about the governance and the process and whether the board had made a full consideration of a number of risk factors and concerns associated with the proposed name change. The officers of the Society met and considered this, and a further meeting of the full board was convened to assure the officers that there were no omissions or oversights in the process. An additional, more detailed outline of the process and the reasoning underpinning the special resolution and potential next steps was provided to the Society's membership on the 25th of April 2023, having highlighted at the opening of voting that such material would be made available. The officers and trustees are satisfied that the issues raised by members prior to the vote have been addressed fully and directly by this material. The members have also been corresponded with directly. We can therefore proceed to announcing the results of the voting for the special resolution. The required majority to carry a special resolution in line with our governing documents is 75%. The votes in favour, as you can see on the slide, of the special resolution are 192, 72 votes against, 5 abstentions and 18 spoiled ballot papers. The percentage voting for the resolution is 72.73%. Therefore, the resolution is not carried. Given that a majority of members have expressed themselves to be in favour of the resolution, the board will now review the outcome of the voting and determine potential next steps in relation to the matter of the name of the society. However, no additional steps are likely to be taken before the conclusion of the current BOHS strategy cycle in 2026. We can now open the floor to any questions. Helen, do we have any questions?
Not at the minute, Chris. I'll just give people
I'll
a minute to
give
type
people a
stuff in.
few
Yep.
minutes to digest and enter any questions that they may have.
Nope, still no questions, Chris.
Give people 30 seconds, Helen.
Oh, I've got one question here. Where did the 75% come from?
I might have to take advice. My guess is that the 75% is written into the society bylaws somewhere, but I'm not intimate with the details of the society bylaws. Can someone from the head office team confirm or correct me if I've got that wrong?
You're correct, Chris. It's a requirement.
It's a requirement. So the requirement is that we need a 75% majority to carry a special resolution at the AGM.
I've got another question here. Will you be asking those that voted against for their reasons?
At this point in time, I don't think I can say what we're going to do next. The board will consider the series of events and will decide on next steps. I can't speak for what the board will or will not decide to do as a result of this. They're going to have to go away and think about it.
Anyone else got any questions? There's nothing else coming in there, Chris.
Nothing else is coming in. Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you for your questions. Now that all the business items have been conducted, I can formally close this meeting. I can now ask the minute taker to record the closure of the formal meeting, and it is 15:13. Now the formal part of the meeting is over. I have the pleasure of installing Alex Wilson as BOHS President for 2023-24. Congratulations, Alex.
Thanks, Chris. Very excited. It's well, a great honour for me to take up the role, and one that I've been very much looking forward to, and one that I know I've had a great example from yourself and previous presidents to show me how to do it and do a good job. So thanks very much for that. As we're coming towards the end of the session, we just wanted to provide a bit of an overview to the members about some of the achievements that and activities that the BOHS in terms of head office, volunteers, members, board members have been doing and completing this year. So this is a great kind of a visual numerical slide that Joe and Lee put together every year for the last few years. And it really does show you some of the amazing impacts that we've been able to do in a lot of activities that we do. So that's just a really nice kind of overview highlight before we hand back to Chris to kick off the end of year kind of updates and highlights review.
Okay, Alex, thank you. Shall I move on to the next section?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So thank you very much then. So now speaking as the immediate past president, and I don't feel much different to how I felt 2 minutes ago, but anyway, I'm delighted now to introduce our review of 2022. It's been another groundbreaking year for the Society, but not one without challenge. Our board, our faculties and our volunteers have worked hard, and the head office has undergone a physical and organisational transformation. As always, there's been plenty for us to do with the continued challenges of preventing workplace illness, the impact of the economic crisis, and the increased demand for the Society's contribution to the national agenda. This slide highlights just a few of our successes in 2022. Personally, I am proud to have been able to lead the Society's engagement with hard-to-reach groups, and I'm proud that in my presidential year, the Society's profile amongst policymakers and other professional bodies has been raised. In many ways, this is building on work that was already mapped out by our immediate past president, Alison Margaret, whose work for the board, particularly focusing on partnerships and gender equality, has left a lasting imprint on how we work. Once again, I'd like to thank Alison here for her enormous contribution. With the support of Alex as President-elect, we've set the scene for an exciting Platinum Jubilee year and a challenging agenda to further raise the profile of BOHS. My theme as President was reaching hard-to-reach groups of workers. Access to occupational hygiene expertise is still sadly out of reach for so many workers in the UK, and we have to continue to work to address that. Throughout 2022 and in the previous years, BOHS played a significant role in supporting the health professional bodies in meeting the challenge of the pandemic and into helping to secure a voice for them in the COVID-19 inquiry. We've built new relationships with employee organisations and trade unions, and through these we now have a platform to promote health protection directly to worker representatives. During 2022, I was pleased, along with Kevin, to address the largest audience that we've had for many, many years. We had online thousands of NEBOSH learners from all over the world, and Kevin and I were able to promote the nature of occupational hygiene and to describe a few opportunities to people for potential future careers and routes into the profession. We've also started to make small inroads into sectors as diverse as farming, renewable energy, and food and drink manufacture. BOHS supported in 2022 the work of an all-party parliamentary group on respiratory health when they returned to further consideration of respirable crystalline silica. And we built on direct reference to our earlier contributions to the DWP Select Committee report on asbestos. Our name and our profession is now more widely known amongst legislators, and we've continued to contribute to formal government consultations and to pursue quiet advocacy in relation to policy at a national level. Breathe Freely continues to be a jewel in the Society's crown, and the extension of Breathe Freely to Canada and the United States now make it one of the world's biggest respiratory health initiatives. At home in the UK, under the leadership of Tina Conroy, the Breathe Freely campaign has been developing materials with a focus on demolition, an area that's often neglected in the context of construction health risks. In 2022, we participated in 17 external events, both at home and abroad, as widespread as Australia to Trinidad, reflecting the wide-ranging international and national reach of the Society. Our governance continues to be robust, with expanded engagement at board and faculty level, providing plenty of opportunities for our members to contribute. With the nomination of Alex Wilson, our long-standing Honorary Secretary, as President-elect, we were pleased to welcome back in 2022 Helen Pearson to take on the role of Honorary Secretary, providing a very experienced and capable group of officers who have supported me and the head office team so very well throughout 2022. Lastly, I must make mention of the outstanding work of the faculties in promoting standards and raising the profile of our professions, with a special mention for our faculty registrars, Sarah Leeson and Jonathan Grant. As immediate past president, I am now looking forward to seeing BOHS achieve even more in the next year and beyond that. And with that, I'll hand over to our Honorary Secretary, Helen Pearson.
Helen, you're on mute.
Sorry, thanks, Alex. I've got too many things open on my screen. So I took on the role of Honorary Secretary after Alex as many years in office, which was obviously initially daunting. I've got some big shoes to fill. However, the development of the Society's governance and the support of the governance and operation with the support governance, Sorry, I'll start again. The development of the Society's governance and the support of the Governance and Operations Manager, it's been a relatively smooth transition. The Society has made the gains in membership that it made as a result of its higher profile through the height of the pandemic. However, in line with national trends, a handful of hygienists have retired from the profession and stepped back from engagement with the Society. The Society's roles continue to attract applicants, and members continue to contribute towards the technical roles which underpin qualifications delivery and development, but also the work that enables us to provide technical guidance and the work of the faculties. The year has also seen higher levels of attendance at our regional online events. The year also saw the delivery of 6 conferences in 12 months, with our first Society conference to be delivered in Belfast. It enabled us to engage the wider and more differently with our membership than ever before. We've continued to provide value to our members, with head office activities continuing to contribute £1 to membership costs for every £1 spent in membership fees. We continue to promote an open access model for our technical content as part of the promotion of the profession and of good occupational hygiene. The Annals of Workplace Exposure and Health continues to have exceeded pre-pandemic content engagement, with over 30,000 accesses to articles in 2022. The impact factor of the journal, an indicator of its significance in academic terms, went up to 2.179 from peak of 1.71 in 2016, prior to its name change. The board started consideration of how best to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Society in 2023, but also how to address feedback from members that it may be time for the Society to consider a change of name. And with that, I'll pass over to Alex.
Actually, no. Pass over to Sarah. And
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry, Helen. Thank you. Yes, I'll just kick off with a few highlights from the Faculty of Occupational Hygiene, and I'll start off here by just giving out my thanks to all of the members of the Faculty of Occupational Hygiene Committee, and I know a few of you are on this call. All of the members have given a lot of dedication and hard work over the past year, all as volunteers, to really help move forward the work items of the faculty, which are associated with the faculty's 5-year strategy. So my huge thanks, because we couldn't achieve what we did without those faculty members. So 4 sort of highlights here on the slide. Hopefully all of you will have accessed the technical guidance pages on the BOHS website. So one of the strategic working groups within the faculty committee led the charge on this over the past year. And there's now 70 years of technical guidance, which is available freely and online via the website. So we've divided the technical guidance pages into one page sort of for up-to-date current guidance. But there was a lot of older guidance, which was still very relevant, and members occasionally would contact head office to see if they could access those. So you'll find some of the older technical guidance on the archive pages. So if you haven't taken a look at those recently, I would encourage you to do so. The faculty ran even more PDC courses free of charge at the conference last year in Belfast. There were 3 PDCs offered, 1 full-day PDC on leadership skills, and then 2 half-day sessions on metalworking fluids and report writing, all well attended, and the feedback on those from the attendees was very positive, and delighted to say that we will be running 4 free PDCs at the conference this year in Leeds. Many of you, or all of you on the call, hopefully will have read and maybe heard me talking about the new professional register, which we are very close now to setting up. So all faculty members on the call will know this will be offered as part of your renewal process this year. So we are just undergoing the final stages of accreditation from the Professional Standards Authority. And the final point I just wanted to highlight here was the initial development of a competency framework, which goes hand in hand with the work to set up the professional register. And with that, there's also a review of some of our professional qualifications, which is underway at the moment, in particular the routes through to the diploma qualification. So with that, I will hand over to Jonathan to share some of the highlights from FAM.
Thanks so much there. I think some of the main highlights are on the screen there, and I could probably spend the rest of the day talking about all of the work that's been going on at FAM, because there's a tremendous amount going on there. You can see some sort of 4 main highlights there, but all I wanted to do in this bit is to mainly say there is a tremendous work going on, a number of subcommittees from the FAM committee working hard on really important issues in relation to asbestos. We seem to be going through a very interesting time, let's say, in the asbestos sector at the moment. And I really just wanted to take the opportunity now to thank the current FAM committee members, who are Gary Burdett, Laurie Davies, Louise Slattery, Nick Garland, Sam Lord, Sarah Mason and Sam Collins. I think one of the highlights out of the 4 things that are on there is, and I actually genuinely massively enjoy this every year, is the FAM conference that we managed to put, a 2-day conference. It's very well recognised. We kind of get sort of moving towards international attendance to that. I'm really, really proud of all the work that goes on in relation to that. But my main thing is to say thank you to all the committee and all the other people who work very hard on FAM, including the head office. That's all I had to say. Thanks. I don't know who's next, so I don't know who to hand over to.
Save the best till last, Jonathan. Oh no, it's me. Sorry. So anyway, we'll move on to the final piece, which is really entitled "Looking Back, but also looking forwards." And I think this is very much around this great celebration year that we find ourselves in. Last week, you'll have seen the emails go out. Last week, the BOHS turned 70 years old, which is an amazing achievement in itself. And like all birthdays, we really want to look back at what we've achieved, but also to look forward to what else we can do, and to continue to push the message, to really change the mindset of people with regards to preventing worker health. So it's a great time to celebrate, and this year we hope that people will engage in the anniversary plans. We've shared what some of those plans are, and some of those are more celebratory, but we also plan to continue to raise the profile of the society by going out to the policymakers and highlighting these achievements that we have done in the past. And also to really kind of continue to raise the awareness and push that message to these stakeholders as well, with regards to their understanding of who we are, what we do, and the impact that we have. To quote Kelvin Williams, we know the world needs occupational hygienists. And over the recent years, I think we've done a fantastic job to continue that and to really drive that message forwards. This last year kind of laid some of the foundations for us to really push on with these messages going out to the stakeholders and the policymakers. The head office team have done a fantastic job with support of members in terms of growing our remit on social media. Last year we saw 1 million impressions on LinkedIn, which is a social media term, but that's a fantastic achievement. It's 1 million impressions on a global social media platform. We received about 4,500 new followers just on LinkedIn alone. And again, you'll have seen from the numbers, the summary numbers review, that social media has just absolutely exploded with regards to increasing in terms of followers, impacts, and what we can share, not just our content, but other people's content as well. The annual report is having a great read rate, which means that people are actually interested in reading it, which is good. And a lot of the information that we're sharing now is available in more detail in the annual report as well. The respiratory crystalline silica report also got a really good read rate. So it shows that the kind of this level of engagement is really getting down to where we need it to get to. As President-elect, one of the jobs on the to-do list is to support consultations. But that's very much head office are the great people that sit behind that, really. And again, the detail of these consultations will be available in the annual report, but there's plenty to go on in terms of what we've been doing, but just to raise a couple of examples. We've been involved as a significant contributor to the COVID inquiry consultation, the Department of Work and Pensions Select Committee report on asbestos. So yeah, just to name a few there, there's plenty going. I think it's 17 significant contributions to consultations we've made this last year, which is, I think, a fantastic achievement in itself. As Chris mentioned, the Breathe Freely campaign has started to kind of move to the next level. We're seeing a real global push and interest in that. And more lately, Canada and even the Irish Society of Occupational Hygiene is looking at building and releasing Breathe Freely material for themselves. So something to really be proud of there. We still talk about this campaign. It was launched nearly 8 years ago, and it's still going strong, and it's still making an impact in the workplace, both in construction and manufacturing as well. Construction, we've had a new focus on demolition, and again, the teams have been really working together with regards to the Institute of Demolition Engineers and BOHS volunteers to really get that information across. When it comes to Breathe Freely in manufacturing, the welding fume selector tool, which is a fantastic resource, has been completely rebuilt and updated and refreshed as well. So again, keep those resources keep coming, keep supporting the campaign, and if you can contribute, please put your hand up, go to head office, and we'd welcome that support. In terms of other external campaigns, we've done a lot of collaboration with the HSE on the Dust Kills campaign, also the manual handling campaign, and the recent asbestos campaign as well. And more information around that can be found in the annual report. We have released many press releases this year, highlighting the work that the Society are doing, our support for other pieces of work and other associations and the work that they do. So again, please check them out on the website and through the annual report as well. Lots and lots of information just to kind of really be proud of in terms of what we've done and where we're going, really. So it's really leaves me to say one last final thing, which is thank you very much for joining the AGM today. It's been an absolute pleasure to host it with Chris and the rest of the team. I'm very much looking forward to this next year. There's a lot to do, but the first thing is to say that we've had a lot of people contribute to this AGM through special resolution. The engagement is really important. I think you'd probably say that the numbers who voted probably a lot less than we'd have hoped. We have a lot more members than 290. So we've got a greater job on our hands to further engage with you as membership, with our volunteers and with the stakeholders that we do. But thank you very much for engaging today and in the recent weeks leading up to this. Looking forward to this year ahead, and hopefully I will see hopefully everybody that's on this call and more in Leeds at the OH 2023 annual conference in June. On June the 12th it kicks off, so yeah, hope to see you there. So thank you very much.